This is evidently a video by Upper Echelon who said Microsoft leaked their own secrets in this document. I've not heard this theory before, so I guess we're going to check it out and see if there's any merit to it, see what they say. So let's go. What's up, Team Fanatic?
All right, today, actually yesterday, we got some bombshell news because Xbox, Microsoft really, accidentally leaked roughly 100 documents through a court submission process, which is now probably the largest gaming-specific data leak of all time. If not, it's pretty darn close, so...
I've already made a couple videos about this on TikTok, and long story short, it's amazing. There's so much stuff. We're getting Fallout 3 remastered. We're getting, Oblivion remastered. We're getting a bunch of stuff. Tons of stuff. I don't know.
So let's get into it.
He'll probably say.
For starters, there were, actually probably still are, quite a few people who are adamantly claiming that the leak was intentional. Somehow, people are deluding themselves into believing that this was a PR stunt from Microsoft to announce their new console. But no, that's ridiculous, because this leak is so far-reaching, it would be a nightmare for any company, regardless of what positive developments could ever result from part of it. Here's how it happened, at least how it seems to have happened based on existing evidence and a judge's order. Microsoft and Sony have been locked in a battle over the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Microsoft wants it, Sony wants to stop it. Pretty straightforward. Well, court battles like this require an unbelievable amount of documents, evidence, procedures, and disclosures. I'm actually running into some of that in my own life right now and understanding what the process looks like, leading to a very complex framework by which the companies interact with each other and with the court.
We'll wait for the next
During
round.
that process,
Here we go.
funnily enough, Sony had previously accidentally leaked their own development timeline and budget for two major titles, The Last of Us 2 and Horizon Forbidden West, because, and I do sort of have to laugh here, because someone redacted a document with Sharpie and then scanned it. That doesn't hold up very well when you import the document to Photoshop. Clearly someone wasn't aware of that. Obviously the leak is pretty small given the projects it applies to, but still, it demonstrates that large companies are composed of people, and if they're actively embroiled in a court case going through the process of redacting sensitive information, sometimes they make mistakes.
Yeah, if you just use a Sharpie instead of that, that's a skill issue. That's somebody goofed and lost their job over that 100%. But that is nothing compared to what got exposed with Xbox. There's so much more. Tons more. That's only 3 games. Xbox is like everything. We know everything for the next few years at least. And they're trying to play it off like, no, it's not that serious. Like a lot of the stuff's changed. And it's not. It's not. That's for real. They're just trying to throw people off, I think. That's just my theory. I have no proof. Also 420. All right, anyway.
Still, as funny as that might be, it's nothing compared to Xbox and Microsoft.
I just
For them,
said that.
the leaks are an undeniable monstrosity, and the way it happened is also far worse. Near as we can tell, credit to Stephen Totillo over on Twitter for this part, a document was uploaded just like any other, appearing normal when viewed in a browser, but not so fast, because when that file was opened in Adobe Reader, the attachments were visible, and the attachments contained a lot of files. That breach led to the discovery of all of this.
Yeah,
and it's a lot.
I have
We're
all
talking
this.
full timeline of Xbox
Allegedly.
plans till 2030. Discussions about a possible hostile takeover of Nintendo with other names for acquisition like Warner Brothers and Valve. An Xbox handheld, next generation consoles and data.
Xbox is crazy if they think they can ever buy out Nintendo. Nintendo would never in a million years let that happen. Like straight up. They just wouldn't. I don't know. And to think that they would sell out for any amount of money that Xbox could afford, I'm sorry, that is delusional.
Next generation controllers, a whole bunch of info about games like Oblivion and Fallout 3 Remastered, or Red Dead Redemption 2 for next gen systems,
I forgot
an
about
Xbox
that.
Cloud console, Indiana Jones, Dishonored 3, the next Doom title.
Is anyone really hyped for Indiana Jones? Like, I feel like that game was a cool idea, and then they dropped the movie, and it just completely flopped. And now, who's looking for an Indiana Jones game? Nope, not I. I'm looking for a Star Wars game. Another one.
Title, Ghostwire Tokyo 2,
If it was
stats
Lego,
on Game
sure.
Pass, and their targets, plus more that I'm not even going to get into right now, because there's an active feeding frenzy on what the leaks contain currently in gaming media, and I'm more interested in giving the overview today. Moving on. This is quite probably the largest and most damaging leak from any company in video game history. And yes, it came
That's
from
true.
Microsoft. See, a lot of Xbox fans were oh so high on their copium. I'm not being an asshole. I'm just kidding. Okay, I love you guys. But some fans were theorizing that this might have been intentional. It wasn't.
Yeah,
According
no
to
way.
Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley in a signed order, quote, Microsoft provided the link on September 14th, and the court uploaded the exhibits to internet page established for this case, end quote. It was Microsoft. So what does it mean? Well, for starters, though I won't focus on the smaller items, there are two things that I find most interesting in all of the covers so far. First being Microsoft's attitude towards Nintendo, second being their attitude towards Game Pass, funnily enough. For Nintendo, the relevant email causing a stir all across social media right now is this one from Xbox CEO of Gaming Phil Spencer. Quote, Takeshi, I totally agree that Nintendo is the prime asset for us in gaming, and today gaming is our most likely path to consumer relevance. I've had numerous conversations with the LT of Nintendo about tighter collaboration and feel like if any US company would have a chance with Nintendo, we are probably the best position, in the best.
Yeah, right. No one could buy out Nintendo. They're one of the big three. It's like Saradomin, Zamorak, and Armadillo. Or not Armadillo. What am I doing? Guthix. You just can't break up the big three. Saradomin, Zamorak, Guthix. Did I say that wrong the first time? Who even knows? I said Armadillo, yeah. Cringe. It could happen. I mean, we could use a new Lego Indiana Jones. It might be nice. Anyways, let's continue.
Position rather. The unfortunate or fortunate for Nintendo situation is that Nintendo is sitting on a pile of cash. They have a board of directors that until recently has not pushed for further increases in market growth or stock appreciation. I say until recently, as our former Microsoft Board of Directors member Value Act has been heavily acquiring shares of Nintendo, and I've kept in touch with Mason Morfitt as he's been acquiring. It's likely he will be pushing for more from Nintendo stock, which could create opportunities for us. Without that catalyst, I don't see an angle to a near-term mutually agreeable merger of Nintendo and Microsoft, and I don't think a hostile action would be a good move, so we are playing the long game. But our board of directors has seen the full write-up on Nintendo and Valve, and they are fully supportive on either if opportunity arises, as am I. And
literally, yeah, they want to buy Valve. They're interested in Warner Bros. They're interested in literally everything. Nintendo. Why do they want everything? They're just buying up Blizzard at this point as well. It's like, at what point is this going to become a monopoly? I mean, it pretty much already is going that way with the whole reason this happened is because of their issues with the FTC. And that's why these documents leaked. And it's like, they want to buy everything else if the opportunity is there. It's like, there needs to be competitors. It's good for business. But I'm all for them buying Blizzard because maybe they'll do something better with it.
End quote. For reference, there's a link in the middle that he included in his email, which goes here. An exclusive from Reuters, Value Act eyes Nintendo with stake of over 1.1 billion. That has a lot of people champing at the bit for an argument online. Some people are calling it evil, monopolistic, scummy, and others are excited that Microsoft is apparently seriously considering a takeover of Valve, Nintendo, Warner Brothers, or even ZeniMax. Phil Spencer mentions those two later on in the same email. My thoughts?
That's wild.
Microsoft doesn't really have a legitimate shot at Nintendo due to the relative success of Nintendo Switch and first-party games for that platform. But
not even just for the Switch. It's Nintendo having decades and decades of powerhouse titles and systems. You know what I mean? There's no way that Xbox can just like swoop out from under them and just absorb the whole thing. It would be an imbalance, you know?
But then again, a lot of this comes to us without context, and we really just have a collection of emails. Microsoft is clearly making an active push to acquire stock in Nintendo by proxy or straight up, wherever that might lead. So the door is certainly open. Maybe it's a legitimate possibility, maybe not, but that was one of the most interesting individual items, at least in my opinion. The second thing that people have widely discussed, actually not nearly as much as the Nintendo stuff, but the second thing I believe they should be widely discussing are the Game Pass figures. Turns out the leaked files contained this, which outlines the current state of Microsoft Game Pass. And in my view, till right now, Game Pass was a massive growing success, but reality itself may not be so kind. See, the documents contain projections forward-looking till 2030, and Phil Spencer has openly stated, quote, "If we do not make more progress than this off console, we would exit the gaming business," end quote. That's
Wait, run that back.
30, and Phil Spencer has openly stated, quote, "If we do not make more progress than this off console, we would exit the gaming business," end quote. That's a pretty big deal. And maybe it's posturing because of their lawsuit regarding Activision Blizzard. Oh, poor little me, Microsoft, even though they're not little by any stretch of the word. But this type of macro business environment is something we as the customers really very rarely get.
Imagine if Xbox just one day backed out of gaming in general. They just went into like TV or media in general. I don't know. They're gonna try and do something like cloud gaming mixed with a console, like a hybrid kind of scenario. But they're trying to change it so it's not just a gaming console. They want like an all-in-one device for basically whoever to use with whatever. You can stream games, you can stream movies, shows, anything on there, all off of one device. They're trying to be that. And they have the opportunity. I think they could do it. Will they though? We'll see.
Get to see. Sure, we don't actually know what's going to happen 6 years from now in 2030, but Microsoft is making very big plays using a lot of resources. Want some proof? Okay. This one comes from Kotaku. Like I said, basically every single gaming publication is feeding on the links right now, like a veritable cornucopia out in a field in the hunger.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing it right now. Everybody is talking about this. This is a content creator's dream, especially in the gaming niche. Stuff like this just doesn't happen.
Games. According to additional material found in the breach, these are Microsoft's own internal estimates when it comes to the relative cost of acquiring games for Game Pass. Lego Star Wars, $35 million. Dying Light 2, $50 million. Red Dead
35 million Lego Star Wars. Sheesh. That's a dub. Actually, I'm just going to wait.
Redemption 2, $5 million per month. Dragon Ball, The Breakers, $20 million. A couple more $5 million price tags, 14, etc., etc. Gotham Knights, $50 million. Assassin's Creed Mirage, $100 million. Suicide Squad, $250 million. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, $300 million. Mortal Kombat 1, $250 million. Grand Theft Auto 5, $12 to $15 million per month, and a couple more fives. I probably don't need to emphasize this, but that is not a small amount of money to acquire Game Pass titles. And again, this isn't a complete picture of Microsoft's inner workings, far from it, but it's more than we've ever seen before on the customer side. And my personal opinion is that spending on that scale probably won't be an indefinite venture, making me much more receptive to the idea that Microsoft is genuinely examining their own position in the industry. See, Xbox is a big deal to all of us, but to Microsoft, a $2.4 trillion company whose main revenue stream is from server products and cloud services, when their second highest income stream is Office products and third is Windows, yeah, they don't care about gaming the way we do. Gaming for
yeah, that's why they actually would. If they weren't making a profit in the near future, they might back out. That's why they're trying to acquire all these other things, I feel like. So they can eliminate the competition or become the competition, basically. I think in a world where there's only one or two consoles, that's not good. They can charge anything they want for it then. And I don't think that's good for consumers in general, you know?
them is down way at the bottom with LinkedIn and Bing advertising. The scope of this leak is enormous, and just in case people still don't fully understand why, try this on for size. Companies like Microsoft, they're definitely not alone. Sony, Google, and others use a similar technique to be sure, but focusing on Microsoft here for this video. Microsoft holds a patent for something called Watermark to Identify Leak Source, which is basically a system where extremely subtle watermarks are built into proprietary information, so you can't even actually grab screenshots. They can trace those, or disperse it, or whatever, without leading directly back to at least one individual at the company. It's pretty complicated, but effectively there is a massive amount of scrutiny when it comes to sensitive information, meaning that we really just don't see leaks on this scale from people working at the company actively.
So they probably know exactly where this came from, and someone is for real losing their job.
We don't see it because Microsoft has a patented system to trace it, and whoever does the leaking obviously gets fucked. However, because of the way this particular leak occurred, things kind of spun out of control rather fast. Microsoft can't shut this down, and yeah, somebody's probably getting fired, but the result is that we, the customer, gets to see how the software.
Shout out to whoever leaked this on accident. We're sacrificing their career for the greater good of all this content. Thank you, sir. We salute you for your honestly, your stupidity. Like, why would you do this? You probably had a good job and you just put this out there for no reason. Honestly, this guy will probably be sued for the damages. And it's Microsoft. You don't want to go up against somebody that big.
Sausage is made, if you will, and peruse a bunch of sensitive files that Microsoft accidentally let out into the wild. It's cool for us, shitty for them, obviously. But yeah, I found it interesting that they even have a patented system in place for hidden watermarks to shut down even the slightest possibility of a leak occurring. And then all their stuff gets dropped because of a bad PDF file with improper link permissions in a court case. Actually, it's not the first time that something so small has had such a large impact on Microsoft. Coincidentally, beginning in June of 2023, and still being reported as of yesterday, a Microsoft employee shared a URL to Azure in a GitHub repository while working on an open source AI project. And that one simple mistake resulted in the breach of 38 terabytes of data, including employee personal computer backups, Microsoft Service login credentials, and 30,000 internal messages.
Wow.
That right there just speaks to how non-secure digital information actually is, but I mean, I'm kind of getting derailed, so yeah. Microsoft is having a rough time, but we, the gaming audience...
Microsoft has had all their secrets leaked in like the past 45 minutes. Like everything anybody has ever wanted to know about Microsoft, out there. Oh yeah, lost his job for sure. And honestly, probably going to be ruined financially for the rest of his life because of this. Like, you've seen what they did to that Bowser guy. Nintendo did it to Bowser. Like, he has to pay most of his money for literally the rest of his life. Like, GG, sit down.
Let's get to browse new information on the future of the industry because of a court case and an evidence blunder. I'm sure the headlines will continue. It is, after all, one of, if not the largest leak in video game history. But yeah, that's it from my end. If you want to support the channel, please check out the links down below. Merchandise, social media, Patreon, locals, and channel memberships.
Yep.
Way better than AdSense. Please consider those. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.
Shout out to the legend. That was a good video. Yeah, the title, definitely a little bit of clickbait, I would say. How they leaked their own secrets. Like, first off, they just didn't. They didn't. So I was hoping to get something like, what? This is some big insider information. No, you played me, but it was a good video, so I don't blame you. And hopefully you aren't mad that I'm going to upload this. So shout out to Upper Echelon. Go subscribe.